The last golden era of enforcers in NHL history had everything to do with tough players from the CHL, be it the WHL, the Q, the OHL. But this guy was a tremendous leader, both on and off the ice, and even though these points didn't show it, what he did for his squad as an enforcer, as a protector, especially for the Minnesota North Stars, Dallas Star of the modern era, is more than respected. So today we're talking about that tough right winger that was drafted by Hartford but had his greatest success with Minnesota, then Dallas, and then the Kings. Spend time with the Rangers, Calgary as well. Of course, we got to be talking about that big drink of water, Shane Churla. Now, Shane Churla has spent most of the last number of years as a pro scout for the Montreal Canadiens, Florida. He's a good judger of talent, but when he came in from the Medicine Hat Tigers, he brought with him fists that led him to be the most penalized per game player in NHL history. Now, according to NHL stats, he's 488 games. He has well over 2,000 minutes in penalties, average around 5 a game. Now, this great play started with Medicine Hat back in the day. He broke into Hartford's lineup part-time, full-time after they made their cup run in '86, and eventually traded to Calgary, and Calgary passed him on to Minnesota. Now, Shane is most well-known for his time in Minnesota and Dallas. A big part of that terrible twosome of him and Basil McRae, especially in the late 80s in Minnesota. The 91 Stanley Cup run, which ended up losing to Pittsburgh in the finals. He has captured the hearts of fans in Minnesota and Dallas. He did follow them to Dallas, and this was after he was left unprotected. San Jose took him, but Kelly Kissio went back to get him back. But it was kind of weird. If you look at his rough stats, no matter where he played, he averaged between 275 and 325 minutes in penalties. And if you look at the history of fights of that, what I call the Probert era or the Domi era, he took on everybody. Wasn't really a dirty player. Now, the strange part about him, he became well known many years later. Early 2010s, he got caught in a road rage incident in, of all places, rural Montana, when he was still doing scouting for the Stars. Now, I would suspect, ladies and gentlemen, if you look back at the top 10 enforcers of that 82 to 92 era, Shane Churla would be high in the list. By the time the Rangers got him, this was after the Stanley Cup win in 94, he was protecting, again, some of the Rangers' top players, I think Messier and a few others. But like I said, Churla wasn't scared to go in the corners. He rarely took an unnecessary penalty. But it was so weird, ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday nights, the games against the Edmonton Oilers, the Montreal Canadiens, who he worked with for a few years as well in scouting, became increasingly what you call tense, because each team had 2 or 3 enforcers. Minnesota couldn't play in their division if they didn't have someone to back up Basil McRae, because McRae was well known to start even in the warm-up. But Churla's numbers didn't really reflect his real role. He would never score more than 2 or 3 goals a season. Although he put up big numbers in Medicine Hat, I think it was 34 points in his last season. Like I said, he was an enforcer that on occasion could score. Now, what was kind of ironic in the 91 Cup run for Minnesota, he matched his regular season totals in the playoffs. He scored 2 goals in his 21 games in the postseason. But like I said, protecting all the top Minnesota and Dallas players, there were some rough rivals of Minnesota at the time. But Shane Churla, like I said, if a fight breaks out, I would expect Shane Churla to either finish it or protect the top players. And as a scout, I heard he's very professional. He's found a lot of great prospects for the team he's played for. Look at the Panthers this year; they're going quite well. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember Shane Churla, if you're a Minnesota or Dallas fan from back in the day, please let us know what you thought of him. With a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you're only good as your enforcer in those eras. And back then, you needed a good enforcer because, my God, with all the top players, I mean. Montreal and Toronto had 2 or 3 on the go at all times. You needed an enforcer to win a cup, and they came within a few games of knocking off Lemieux and Jagger in that classic 91 Stanley Cup final. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Our great supporters of the channel like Andrew Lippert and Daniel Bowden and a few others, Kendall Giverson, are always giving me good requests. Just remember, requests are always appreciated and always tolerated, because I want to reflect what your memories are of vintage NHL, and now it's becoming the vintage third wave, which is again 79 to about 2002, the quarter century before we're getting into the modern era, which seems more corporate. Thanks for listening. Bye.